we allowed to ask about what you did before Vampfangs?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I
Okay.
think that's fine.
And
Or
how...
unless you feel differently. Do you want to?
No, it's fine.
We don't usually talk about that.
Oh,
How corporate and weird we were.
Yeah, I want to
And
know
then
how
are
you
you
guys
comfortable indoors? Like, oh, where would you go? Favorite place to get coffee?
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
met. Where is a vampire's favorite cocktail?
Ledger, always.
So good.
Yeah.
between their legs.
Oh my god! Are you guys ready for the? It's gonna be like Jenny McCarthy
Oh my god.
You said tail between the legs.
and more
Yeah, no,
Jenny
I
McCarthy.
mean, what are you thinking? Oh, you're thinking
She
the
was
first
just
part of
talking-
that.
No, she was just
Oh.
talking about no.
This is great.
Oh right on. This is gonna be fun, you guys.
It is going to be fun.
We,
Yep.
we are also already recording.
Yeah,
so-
I've been recording for the last like 10 minutes.
Feel free
Because
to
this
use
is the stuff
absolute-
that's
It's not gonna change from this. I'm just letting you
Yeah.
guys
good.
know.
Good. No, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. It's great.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, do you need that moved more?
I don't know.
Oh, I can
I feel like it's okay.
I think you sound good.
Yeah. I think I'm okay.
Okay.
That's so good. You're so good, Ben.
We call this my late night
This
DJ
is
voice.
late night DJ. Welcome.
Yeah, can you say welcome to Salem the podcast?
No.
I just want to hear it.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Okay.
We're going to save that till the end, but he can do that now.
No,
That's
I
fine.
know, but I just want to hear it now.
Okay.
Okay.
God.
To amp us all up.
Okay.
Ben, are you ready?
Line, please.
Late night DJ voice go.
Welcome
What?
to Stay on the podcast.
Welcome to Salem, the podcast.
So fucking good. It's so fucking good. You are the best late night DJ vampire I have ever met. I'm so proud to be your business partner. It's so good.
Took so much to not laugh in its pauses.
So good.
So
We
good.
might have to, like-
So good.
Video record that. That could be our trailer.
So we refer to Ben as the voice around here.
He's got a
No,
great
no.
voice.
He does have such a great voice.
What's this we shit? People refer to me as the voice.
Oh snap! There's no ego in this vampire room.
not at
anymore.
You should see the reviews.
Oh, there are good
Oh,
reviews.
the voice.
The voice.
I'm the voice.
Oh my
Voice.
gosh.
Yeah.
I swear, people have asked if they could record the meditations. I don't know what they're doing with these recordings when they
I
get
think
home.
we know.
Jeffrey, I'm not alone. I did say, I was like, Ben has a great voice. I can't wait to get him on the podcast.
He has an awesome DJ voice.
I make fun of her about
literally
it
a
sometimes.
thing.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time, actually.
Yeah. It's like it's beautiful. Like he's got a great baritone. Like it's perfect. Ben, you're perfect for radio.
It's the face.
You have a face for radio, sweet cheeks.
Okay. We need to.
All right.
Call me the Howard Stern? No?
No.
No.
I love it.
Oh my God! Stop! We're the only ones who've seen it. You're scaring everybody.
Loving
This
this.
is exactly-
No. This is what
This
I
is
wanted.
this is fucking gold.
This is
great.
exactly what we want.
This
This
is
is
why we record.
This is
before we
behind the
start.
scenes of how things are around here that you guys never get to see.
I mean, I've seen it like a lot, but this is why we want to do this because people don't get this.
We are the literal vampire ham sandwich. We are
Can you
funny people.
the ham sandwich?
The ham sandwich. We're hams.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Why don't we start?
That sounds so good. I'm so
Welcome
excited.
to Salem,
Welcome.
the podcast.
No, we got a thing.
Good evening.
So we're gonna get official.
Okay. Me, right? I got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you start
yeah.
first.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Selling the Podcast.
We are your hosts and favorite Salem tour guides,
My name is Jeffrey Lilly.
and I'm Sarah Black.
Today we are going to be talking to Ben and Lex, owners of Vampfangs.
Welcome to Salem, the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Good.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for. I mean, I'd say having us, but we have you right now.
You do.
Yes.
You have us. We are in Maison.
Maison Vampire. Yes.
Okay, and this is literally just located in the heart of downtown Salem, right in Derby Square, right on Essex Street.
Yeah, town halls
yeah.
just outside the door.
I would say you have one of the best views.
I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think so. Every October, I like to think that we're gonna get like really cool beads and like throw them at people like it's New Orleans and Mardi Gras. But maybe we'll do that this year. Do you want to do that this year?
They'd appreciate that.
Yeah, it's coming.
I think we should do that.
Some people would appreciate that.
I may wind up hurting someone, so it may not be a good idea.
It depends on what's going on in the windows, whether they get the beads. I
Right.
think that's a whole nother.
Right.
That must be quite the view, just a sea of people on the weekends in October. Is there anything outrageous that you can think of that
Some
you
of
saw?
the costumes, sometimes like I'll look out and I'm like, oh, you went there.
Oh.
You did the thing. Oh, no. And you're in public. Good.
Do you have any examples?
Yes, there was a guy last year who was dressed as the devil and he was wearing a thong and he had like a weird body paint thing going on, but their body paint was like running and not working anymore because he clearly was drinking and it just was not
Just kind of
pretty.
sweating off.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite from I think that was last year. Do you have any favorites, Ben? Come on.
October's like a big fucking
It's
blur.
a blur. I know. That guy just stood out because how many times do you see a dude in a thong walking in front of your
I think it depends on what you're
your
into.
cave? I guess, yeah.
I think the most outrageous one I've seen was at the Waterfront Hotel. You know, they have their ball
Yeah.
at the end of October, and someone showed up as a flasher.
Ooh.
And they had the trench coat, and then when they opened it, there was a dildo attached to his pants. It's like, whoa, you like do a double take. Like, what is that?
That happened to me in Paris years ago, but it was Paris and not October, and there was no costume thing, but it was just an open of the trench coat. It was like, see Paris.
No.
And I was like, oh,
Was it actually?
he was not.
It was not
There was not a strap on of any kind going. It was
okay.
just him.
It
I
was
was like,
all
I've seen Paris. That's not
anatomically-
part of the tower that I want at all. No.
That's the Eiffel Tower and the Arc
Right.
de
It just
Triomphe.
was
are
not. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, I saw Paris and it was beautiful, but that just wasn't
I
it.
feel like that we all can all relate back to high school. I see London. I see France.
France.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think he thought that's what was going on. But
Okay.
yeah.
Well, not in
Anyways.
Salem though.
Not
so-
in Salem. No. But anyways, I digress.
It's probably just because there's no drinking in public in Salem, though.
That's
That's honestly why.
I don't know if
Massachusetts.
everyone understands that, though.
Right.
Truth.
There's enough broken nips on the ground.
the Fireball.
The Fireball. What is it with the Fireball? There's always Fireball. Are people like, I need
There's
some
Instagram
Fireball.
and Facebook pages like dedicated to that.
Salem Trash, 01970.
I think that people of Fireball know that like they're the most discarded nip on the street in like the entire world.
They know.
I don't think they can know. If I knew, I would try and market it or brand it in some
Right.
way. And I've never seen that, so they must not, in my opinion.
From a marketing perspective, like I would totally just take a bunch of shots and make that be like our entire marketing campaign. Like what better is there than that? I don't know.
Or even a cleanup campaign, going through just picking up
Right?
buckets of these things. And
Right.
Tag us in your litter shots? Like, what does that even look like?
Exactly. Where have you fireballed today? Salem? Done.
So,
Brought to you by Fireball.
Right, exactly.
can we get an endorsement?
I haven't had fireball since I was a young lass. So
Back in the days of your wild
back
youth.
in my wild youth days.
Yeah.
Now I just drink bloodbath and champagne. So.
That's bloodbaths. Dangerous.
They are dangerous.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They are dangerous.
You're like, oh, that's not bad. And 6 later, you're like,
Shit. What just happened? Oh my god, the music's so good.
So, once again, thank you for having us in Maison. You guys are, like Jeffrey said, the owners of Vampfangs. I think when people hear vampire, they think the Lost Boys, Dracula, maybe some Twilight. Can you explain what a vampire would be considered in modern day?
Basically Twilight and no, I'm just kidding.
Twilight.
I like Twilight. Don't
They
judge me.
didn't even have
But
fangs.
they had sexy eyes.
you can have sexy eyes and not be a vampire.
I know. What is a vampire, Ben? Go ahead.
There's so many different types of vampires.
I know.
I mean, lifestyle vampire.
What's a lifestyle vampire?
Somebody that likes to dress the part,
Okay.
Okay.
attend killer parties.
Mm-hmm.
Just overall a dark aesthetic.
Cool.
Yeah?
Isn't there like an energy sucking vampire? Or is that only on?
So those are referred to as psychic vampires,
Okay.
Not to be confused with vampire psychics.
which is what I am.
Those are two different things.
All right.
I am a vampire psychic, not a psychic vampire. So we'll
So-
get into that later. But
Sure.
Psychic vampires believe that they have some kind of deficiency that they now need to feed off the energy of other people. A big part of it's consent, right? So typically when we're referring to psychic vampires, it's non-consensual. So they're basically sucking the life out of a party or sucking the life out of you without you even realizing it's happening. We all have these people in our lives.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The person that walks into the room and you're like, oh my God.
Ew, blue, blue, blue's here.
It's like as soon as they walk in, you can almost just hear the energy suck right out of the room.
They're just that negative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pulse.
They always have a sad story. It's always aimed at you putting out some kind of emotion or sympathy for them, you feeling bad for them, and you exerting that energy is them feeding off you.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then you're left just drained.
you go home the end of the night and you're completely drained. You have no idea why, probably very likely. And until you figure it out and you figure out how to stop that and protect yourself, it's going to keep happening. We all have those people, though.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we can get away from them. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes they're our family. Sometimes they're our friends. Sometimes we're married to them, right? But whatever it is, you got to learn how to protect yourself from them.
But then different from a
Vampire
psychic.
So I prefer to use the word vampire witch or living vampire. So that is a vampire who loves energy, likes to move energy around, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But vampire witch, totally different from the psychic vampire.
Gotcha.
There's also the sanguine vampire. Ben, I'll let you take that one.
I think sanguine vampires, when most people hear the word vampire, they automatically think of blood drinkers, right?
Okay.
It's just, it's Hollywood. It's the movies. It's what we've been kind of programmed to think of when we hear the word vampire. But in reality, it makes up a very, very small percentage of the overall vampire community.
It's a very private community, too. It's not something that some people are open about it, but it's a very private part of the community, and it is very small, like Ben said.
It is. And it's also, it's usually done in very controlled environments, right? With consenting people.
And safety. And
safety.
Like
There's obviously medical risk. So people that kind of connect in that kind of way, typically there's like testing and there's protocol. You need to make sure they're not communicating disease to each other, right? So that's a big part of it.
It's not something that we talk a super lot about because it's for all the safety reasons that Ben mentioned. It's just not,
and very much a private
it is.
ritual.
I think
people.
Do you get any really deeper than blood, right?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to life and that kind of thing, right? Like blood is life.
Right.
Without it, you die.
Right.
There's all sorts of things. That's how our organs, our skin, our brains function. You need all of those things just to exist in this world. And you also need the spirit and soul and energy.
You also need your energy, and that's kind of where the vampire witch comes in. That it's the life force energy opposed to life force and blood. So
one thing I think though too that some people may have misconception about, right, just as far as like images they have in their head, I think because of like what you see in like movies and stuff,
like Nosferatu,
right? Or any movie where or any movie or show where there's like feeding, where like a vampire bites its victim and that kind of thing, right? Like they bite and the blood's just squirting everywhere and flowing out.
So much blood.
There's so much blood.
Crazy.
But when we're talking about like the sanguine type of vampire, usually you're only talking about a very, very small amount of blood. It's usually done with either a lancet or some kind of like small thing that like pierces and that kind of thing, right?
We should totally stop talking about sanguines right now.
Well, no, I think listeners.
I know. Everybody wants to hear it. It's
it's not that weird. So Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, weren't they wearing some vial of blood of each other's around their necks?
Angelina Jolie and who's she married to?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah. They had the whole blood vial thing going on.
There's definitely a spectrum.
There is a spectrum for sure. But I think what Ben was getting at is that it is a smaller population. It's not gallons of blood like you see on What We Do in the Shadows, which, by the way, we absolutely love that show.
So good.
There's always so much blood in that show. I love it.
And when it comes to movies and stuff, oftentimes they go for the neck, right? Or these major arteries.
Well, it's major arteries.
Right. And that's because, that's your whole thing. But with the sanguine, it's like, a small poke.
On the finger, the back, or somewhere like that. But yeah, they usually go for like the major arteries in movies. It's always like the femoral or like the, wait, the femoral is the one in the thigh, right?
Ooh,
The one in the
That's
leg.
the
yeah.
good one. And then
that's the good one. She said.
that's the sexy vampire one. If I were gonna, I mean,
Yeah, you hide the bite. No one can see
right?
it.
Nobody
No,
can
you don't
see
want to
it,
do
and
that.
there's a lot
No,
going
that's,
on.
That's risky.
But that's a sexy spot.
You just make sure it closes up quick enough.
That's true.
Jesus.
You got like 5 seconds.
But there's the brachial artery.
I'm sure
in the
that they have
arm and all of that
equipment.
stuff.
No, like, if there's anywhere that I would be like, do not.
Right.
That is like literally like you have a much greater chance if something happens to your neck. You're probably gonna be. You can hold that the leg.
I'm trying to
Done.
think of like where I would rather it be morbidly done. Like if that was actually reality, which artery would I choose to go with?
I think
I
wrists are
tend to
pretty
think
easy.
that the femoral artery is like, you know what? This would have been a good time. This would have been fun, at least.
Hopefully.
Right. The brachial artery, it's like, all right, you're in my armpit. It's kind of weird. It's time to go.
I
little
showered
sensitive.
this morning. Yeah.
Right. So anyways, we around here at Maison Vampire, we're into the vampire witch thing, not the sanguine thing. So I'm
Right.
sorry to disappoint to anybody listening. I know that it's way more fun to assume that we're drinking people's blood in the alley here in Salem.
I'm sure
It's
there's
just-
people around who do that.
There are. It's a thing. We cannot confirm or deny anybody we know, but it's not what we do around here.
So how does all of that tie into your brand of Vampfangs?
You're looking at me.
I'm looking at you.
I asked the question. They both are just like,
So I guess
To be real, I feel like there's two different kind of sections of Vampfangs. So there's Vampfangs, which Ben mentioned is like the lifestyle vampire, and that's people who love being around vampires and love the whole vampire aesthetic and all of that. So that's Vampfangs. Maison Vampire is more the vampire witch.
the
So
spiritual
the
side.
spiritual
of it.
side, the energy work, the meditation, the magic, all of that. So it's two different kind of sections. I guess we made Maison Vampire so we were able to have that because it's such a huge part of who we are. Vampfangs is kind of our fun and kind of our party. So
and so you
how
guys,
did I do, Ben?
You did wonderful.
Thank you with your late night DJ voice.
you guys are the owners of Vampfangs.
We are.
Tell us about.
How that came to be.
Yeah.
Because it's been open since 1993, right?
93. Yeah.
One of the oldest, it's got to be one of the longest standing businesses in town when it comes to at least the tourist industry.
I'm not
The
sure,
dark aesthetic
to be
here.
honest. There's got to be somebody.
I'm sure there's
I'm
more,
not sure.
but
Yeah.
I would say you're probably in like the top.
Yeah, I know like the Magic Parlor was like way before that. I think Christian was here before.
Well,
before that. And
the original
Lori.
owner of Vampfangs back in
Yeah.
1993 was actually working at the Magic Parlor
yeah.
when the Magic Parlor was down here next to the fountain.
Yeah.
And he used to, every October they would pop the tent outside, and he would be the one out there custom fitting fangs. And we learned several years later he actually custom fit each of our first pairs of fangs.
Isn't that crazy?
Like
so
separately,
cool.
obviously, but each
Just
of us got our
independently
first
of each other.
Independently, like when we were teenagers and didn't know each other, like we each got our first pair of vampire fangs from
from the
the
original,
original
owner
owner
of
of the
Vampfangs.
company that we now own, which
Crazy.
is crazy.
Full circle.
But he used to do fang fittings out here in the walkway, and then people would, oh, what else you got? What else you got? What else you got? And then when the kind of internet came to be, like in '95 or so, so 93 was when he started Vampfangs.
Yeah.
Right. But then 95 was when it became like vampfangs.com.
Right.
So the story
Probably right.
the story
Crazy.
we hear
Yes.
is that
Dial-up.
he was laughing with one of his friends, and his friend was like, "You can't make money on the internet." And he's like, "Oh yeah, watch me." And he
You can't sell vampire fangs
Right.
online.
You can't. It's not a thing. Like the internet's not a thing. And he's like, "Oh yeah."
Let me show you.
So he did, and
Yeah.
he opened up vampfangs.com, and it's funny to go like in the Wayback Machine and just kind of see like the whole progression of the history of the company. There was like the Vampfangs Girls back in the day, where it was like
Back in the day, it it looked very much like a MySpace.
yeah, it did.
Like a MySpace homepage.
So-
Like it was pretty funny.
So
There were-
I remember it from probably like when we were in high school.
Yep.
And I remember Vampfangs, and then there was something else. But the Vampire Freaks, that was like a whole nother
Yep,
thing.
that was a blog back then.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I saw all these things that I was interested in, and I think I said to Sarah earlier, it was like you could distinctly, it's like HTML made like this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Pam and Tommy?
Yes.
Like the way that the internet was utilized
Yes, exactly.
to propel Vampfangs.
That was like our time. That was like the start of all the things. Yeah.
Different product, but same concept.
Same. Yeah, it reminded me when the in that show when the hardware store was like, yeah, we put all our stuff online and now our shit's blowing up.
Yeah, exactly.
It went through a whole like progression, and there was like the Vampfangs Girls, like I was mentioning, there were like these pop-up chicks on the
that would like dance around your homepage and stuff.
It was and everything. It was really cool. And then the business just blew up. So I think, you know, he was the original owner was the first guy to do, is it Kiva? Is that the name of the technology?
Kiva, yeah.
So the warehouse, the whole business just completely blew up. But he was the first person to use Kiva, which was this internet. How explain Kiva?
Kiva's basically these like little, picture them like little mini robots.
It's like a Roomba.
It's kind of like a Roomba that is programmed where everything is in the warehouse. You give it the order, it goes to like a stack of bins, picks up the bins and brings them to your bench. You pick up the items, you pack the order.
So it's like a robot back in the day.
And so the person would just stand at their bench, the robot would go pick all the stacks of items, bring them to them. And then what ended up happening was that technology got bought by Amazon.
So we no longer
by a little
using
company
Kiva.
by a little company called Amazon,
Yeah.
and that's what they use today for a lot of their fulfillment.
So we're no longer
Interesting.
using Kiva, like Ben said, because Amazon now owns it. So we have an awesome warehouse staff.
I was going to say, you probably have familiars.
We have familiars who pick our stuff now, which is really great. But so Scott did an amazing job with Vampfangs, and he
used to do fairs.
He did
the
fairs,
Ren
festivals,
festivals, the Ren Fair, King Richard's Fair, all those things, and then pretty much just took it online, and he was just like pretty much strictly e-com for about the next 20 years.
Yeah. And
so.
he actually, if you go into our store, there's a little sign that says Vampfangs with like these awesome scrolly bits next to it. And it was the original Ren Fair sign that he used to bring with him to all the Renaissance fairs to fit fangs. It's really cute.
Such a cool community.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably what people loved about it so much in an era where you can't really connect with people as easily as you can now through the internet. Vampires from all over were able to, this is what I'm interested in, this is my thing, this is my scene. They could just hop on and be a part of it.
So Ben and I used to do haunted houses. That was kind of our jam back in the day. And we started a new business, and we moved into the Cummings Center in Beverly. And the original owner of Vampfangs messaged us, and he's like, hey, we're the only two spooky businesses in this entire corporate giant building.
This is prior to us buying.
And he was like, oh, we should grab drinks. So we grabbed drinks with him, and we hung out with him for, it was probably like a year. We were like, this dude's pretty cool. You know, we're loving the whole vampire thing. All of this sounds great. And then it was like a year later, he was like, hey, you guys should buy my company. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He approached you.
He did.
Well, he did because there was a project we were working on, right, that fell through.
Yep.
And we were like, oh,
Sucks.
We really want to do something this year, though.
Right. I was like, I need to leave my job. I need to get out of here. Like, I need to not be in corporate. I need to not be in fucking corduroys anymore.
Whoa.
And he wanted to move.
Sorry, Jeff.
Jeff's
I love your corduroy, but I was wearing like yellow corduroy pants.
I like
to
the
wear.
noise that it makes.
I shopped it. There was some J. Crew. It does make fun noises when you walk through.
Yeah, it does.
Anyways, so.
Well, he wanted to move to Vietnam.
He did.
He was over there on business, and he met somebody, and he wanted to get married and start a family over there, and so he wanted to move, and so it was like a perfect timing-wise, just lined up. And he was like, yeah, you should totally buy Vampfangs. And we were like, what does that mean? Never quite thought about buying Vampfangs. But then we kind of sat down and talked about it and hammered through it and had our attorney draw up all the documents and due diligence. And I think like 5 or 6 weeks later, we were signing papers and bought Vampfangs.
Yeah, we had
it literally came out of nowhere.
2 weeks to I was working in corporate advertising, and I gave them 2 weeks notice, and I remember sliding my letter of resignation across the table, and I was like, I'm leaving to buy a vampire company, and they were like, what?
How good did that feel?
Awesome, but they were still like, what are you doing?
Like, I'm going to go live my best life. I'm going to go be a vampire.
Right. I have to go be a vampire now. Thank you for my
There's
career.
been enough of this corporate stuff.
Right.
I'm my calling.
I'm all set. I'm done.
So that was 4 years ago.
That was in 2017. Yeah. July 2017 was when we purchased Vampfangs.
Okay.
1 year later, almost to the day.
It was literally like to the day that we had signed paperwork.
Is when we opened the retail store.
Yeah. And then I remember I first saw you guys at I don't know if I'm sure you were there.
I'm sure I was.
at Derby Square. There was a thing.
Market?
There was some sort of a market or a fair, and you guys had a big photo.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did I think we were doing the photo op thing that year with like the gifts, and we were
Yeah,
like,
we had a big photo booth,
that was fun.
and actually I think we brought in a couple performers
We did.
that year as well
Yeah.
that we had going out there. They were like piercing their own skin and on their
my
arms
God.
and stuff.
So
it was fun.
Wick.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've known him for years.
He's so amazing.
Yeah, we brought him in. He was awesome.
Yeah.
He's so
He killed
amazing.
it.
And then, of course, he had always mentioned that he worked Vampfangs and this sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, there's this guy I've known for like 10 years, all of a sudden performing here. It's like, these guys are cool. I'm like, if Wick says you're cool, then.
Thanks, Jeff.
I didn't know you, you know?
Yeah.
But, like,
Wick's been around for ages with Vampfangs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in town that have been with Vampfangs for a long time, so it's interesting kind of seeing everything come together. I remember when right after we had bought the company, we were down in New Orleans, and we were wearing jackets that said Vampfangs, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, I've loved Vampfangs since I was a baby bat," and I think that's when we realized that there was a massive following to this company that we had just bought, that we thought just only the two of us really knew. We didn't really realize how big the company was.
And then you've taken it and just feel
Brought
like
it back to life.
Brought it back to life,
We've
and then-
revamped it. See what I did there?
We have
what?
there's a button that does
Oh
that.
man.
It's okay. Yeah.
Do you want Ben to do it? I bet his late DJ voice can.
Boom, boom.
It's so good. It never gets old. Hit it. Yes.
There we go.
Love it.
Jeff, can you follow me around in my life so people will understand my really bad jokes, and then I'll just
They're
Love
like, guys, come on, you gotta clap.
crickets.
Oh, we need a cricket button.
So that was kind of how we bought Vampfangs.
That's how we bought Vampfangs.
So it's a
how we-
Salem-based, Salem or original
Yeah.
company. And
Born and raised and
Yeah.
still going strong.
are you guys local to Salem?
Yes. Yep. I grew up around here. I've been walking around Salem since I was
A baby bat?
a baby bat, a wee little baby bat. And Ben grew up here.
I was born and raised in Salem. Spent some time in the military. I was overseas, down in Texas for a little while. And then I ended up right back in Salem. And then just last year, I actually bought a house next town over in Beverly.
Oh, nice.
Love
Congratulations.
Beverly.
So that's got to be cool. To have this town, to have the aesthetic, the people, the culture, everyone loves it. Everyone comes here for all of that. And you're like, yeah, no, I'm from here. Not only am I from here, but I end up coming back here, end up buying the Vampire Company, and I'm now like a pillar of the community within that. That's
That is living the dream.
Totally. I mean, Ben and I travel all over the country doing a lot of the awesome stuff that we do. And I feel like this is always going to be kind of home base for Vampfangs. I can't speak to the future, and Ben's giving me the stare, so I won't speak to the future about traveling and where we're going to bring Vampfangs. But
we can edit that out.
that's okay.
Your secrets are safe with us,
That's okay.
and when we broadcast this.
I'll let Ben go there if he wants to go
To
there.
the
but
millions of listeners.
So
usually Ben's the one who drops all the
mean-
exciting hints of things.
You don't feel pressure.
I mean, look, if
Feel pressured.
somebody sat down and thought about this,
Do it.
okay, Salem, we're obviously in Salem.
I think we all know what
If
the
there was
answer
Yeah,
is.
if there was a number one and the number two that you could possibly think of
Do
that is the best
it.
place to run a vampire business,
it.
we're going to be in New Orleans at
Yes!
some
Do it.
point in the future. We don't know when, right? We don't know when, but the opportunity has to present itself. But
Yes.
we've been looking in New Orleans for a little bit now.
We're excited to expand Vampfangs. I think the business itself, the bat wings need to spread a little bit larger.
And what a perfect fit. I don't think
Yeah.
it could go anywhere else.
Yeah, we love it down there.
Salem and New Orleans, number one, number two.
Yeah, especially we've got a new interview coming out, Interview with the Vampire TV show
Yes.
coming out soon, so that'll give that some new life. Sure, right?
Yeah.
On life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the vampire wave kind of hits pop culture in like literal waves. I mean, like it comes in and it goes out, and there's always the second that it kind of disappears a little bit, it then comes back really strong. So
Vampire never dies.
it doesn't. It's so true.
Because we're hiding in the shadows.
I love how much we're whispering in this episode.
What do we do there?
I don't know.
Bat.
Bats!
That was actually going to be our promo video. We were hoping to set up a camera, have you guys say something, then go bat, and then we add in bats.
Nothing would make me happier than you actually making that a reality. So can we just do that for fun if we don't do it for anything else?
We've got time before it drops, so like we can do this a different day.
Do that
I just need to get some sticks and some string.
I have those things for you.
Nice.
We will. We're gonna have to edit all this out so no one knows.
Yeah,
that.
obviously.
That's okay. That's my favorite line. Anytime I'm in like an uncomfortable situation, I'm always like bats, and I run away.
There's so many times where culture like, so I won't keep you anymore, or you make those excuses. You just got to be like, bat.
And you're fucking out of there. Yeah.
I just throw a little smoke bomb.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you add in the cracker from the whatever they pop on the ground from the magic parlor downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Or like a door slam from Wicked Good Books, because it's just on this like spring and it just slams. But then the magic parlor has like these, what are they? They're like cracker things.
Yeah, like little poppers you throw on the ground.
It just sounds like a gunshot.
Didn't you do that when you were a kid?
You get them
lady,
you go
then.
camping. We always had them at the campground.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe
I used to actually buy those from the magic parlor when I was a kid.
Oh my God.
Or you put them in places like
someone steps on it.
Yeah, like
the
under
worst
a book.
thing
or under
you
a
could
toilet seat.
possibly
Yes.
do in like a crowded street is to like make a gunshot sound. I don't know who thought it was a good idea, but it's like, let's just sell these to the masses and then scare the tourists when they're walking by with a gunshot sound.
I mean, we used to have cap guns.
Yeah, before,
Look at the red paper.
the
Yeah.
world went crazy, Anyways.
So one thing that I particularly love in this building, and I got to see a bit of it for the first time here, was your Exhibit V.
Ew.
Personally, when I think of going to a museum in Salem, I want a good mixture of history and that dark aesthetic. I mean, what's better than a bunch of vampire hunting equipment from the 1700s? Like, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, this stuff is gorgeous. We're really lucky to have this collection. It's really beautiful.
How did it even come about? It's got to be kind of hard to get your hands on something like that.
We actually met the gentleman who had been collecting for the better part of about 50 or 60 years. And he had amassed this just enormous collection. And what we have here is only like a small fraction of what he actually has. He's a collector of like all antique. He's a major collector of like 18th century statuary. And like, he's
such an awesome dude.
His collection is enormous. He's on the board of the Met. Like this guy's,
wow.
This guy's legit.
Yeah. And just had this huge
when we met him, we met him. We introduced himself. We reached out to him, and we were traveling, and reached out and we're like, "Hey, we're gonna be kind of in your neck of the woods. Like, can we connect?" He's like, "Absolutely." So we went over there and met him. Shared a meal with him, stuff, and we got to talking after that first time, and connected a couple times after that. And then the idea just kind of birthed out of that, and was like, "Hey, we got some space. Let's do this thing."
It's so cool meeting business people sometimes that are also like fun. Because it's very rare that we meet people that were like, oh yeah, we can connect on a business level. This is great, but also on like a fun level at the same time. So it's usually like people are one way or the other. So it's great to meet somebody who's kind of both.
It's like you have the passion for it, but it's also...
I mean, and we're not sure how long the exhibit's going to be here. At first, it was only going to be about a 3-month showing.
Yeah, and it stayed much
and then
longer.
we decided to extend it beyond that. The interest has been good, and all the pieces in there technically are for sale.
We've sold a couple pieces in there.
We don't like actively push them for sale, but they are all for sale. So everything in there does have a price. We've sold several pieces out of there. We sold a couple of really large kits, vampire hunting kits. We've sold a couple of the spirit boards. We've sold some of the hammer, the mallets, and the stakes.
When you first
really
showed
cool
me and
stuff.
told me it was for sale, I was like, "Ooh, I need to."
Yeah, like I kind of want to buy a vampire steak.
It was like
before I
mid-October,
leave.
business was well, and I was like, "I can't be in here
Right.
at the moment."
It's funny when we went up to pick out the stuff, he was just like, take whatever you guys want. So we were looking at this amazing collection. I'm like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. But so he gave us Post-it notes, which was super cute. So I'm walking around with this like yellow book of Post-it notes with these beautiful pieces. And I'm like, all right, how do I know what to bring back? What do we bring back? And I'm like, all right, when I feel the energy on something, and my jaw starts vibrating or my palms start going or whatever. So I'm like putting stuff on. I'm like, this feels good. This feels good. This feels great. Awesome. And then we come back, and then when we get everything delivered, my first thought is, what the hell was I thinking, bringing all this like super energy dense stuff into our building? So it came up, and it's coming up the stairs, and I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God, I can feel it again. Like, what did I do? And then I'm thinking, is it the stuff or was it the building that I was in? So maybe it's not the stuff. Maybe it was all in my head, and it was just, I was picking up on the paranormal activity in the building. But it was totally the stuff. So
it was the stuff.
It was totally the stuff. So it's all coming in, and like all of me is starting. I'm like sweating. I'm like, shit, every single day, because this is where we work,
right,
is in this building. So I'm like, every day we're gonna come in and I'm gonna feel this. So I tried to make peace with it, and I went upstairs after everything was in, and I just went upstairs. I grounded myself. I grounded the space. I kind of claimed everything, and I was so confident. And I turned around and I walked down the stairs, and all of a sudden it felt like a breeze behind my back, and I fell the entire way down the stairs, cut my entire arm up. I'm bleeding. June, who works with us, comes out and she goes, "What was that?" And I was like, that was me falling the entire way down the stairs, and I was bloody. And how fitting for the start of the vampire exhibit, with the emphasis on the bit.
Exhibit.
V.
Exhibit.
Yeah, so that's kind of how that got birthed.
We thought it was fun.
wow.
Yeah. Lots of
You
blood,
definitely
sweat, and tears up there.
brought something.
Yeah.
Any other attacks? since
No,
then?
no.
Okay, good.
But when we set everything up, we had one other night, so I had set everything up, and I accidentally left all that. We have really beautiful spirit boards from the 1800s, and I had left all of the planchettes on top of the boards, and just to like keep everything together because we had so much stuff. And I went home, and that night I remember thinking, "Oh my God, I left the planchettes on all of the boards. That's the wrong thing to do. I
Just
know."
out in the open.
So I was up
Time to summon some
all
shit.
night.
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
I'm up all night, and the
You
first thing
just
I
left
do,
the doors open.
I did. Oops. And so the first thing I did when we came to the office that day, I ran upstairs and I was like, "I'm so sorry," and I moved all the planchettes off the boards. Nothing was weird, but still,
Stuff's pretty wild though.
it's crazy. This stuff's really crazy.
Do you have a favorite piece?
We have speaking of spirit boards, we have a spirit board from Germany that has this really beautiful skull with wings on it. And the planchette is really heavy, and it's a really beautiful piece. I really love that piece. Do you have a favorite piece up there, Ben?
Hard to pick one. There's like
There's
so many.
so much, I know.
There's some pretty cool mallet and stake sets there.
Mm-hmm.
Like some that you're like, all right, the guy that designed this clearly was not designing it to be a hunting kit, right? This is like a status symbol. This
Right.
is something that someone's buying and hanging on their walls. Like, hey, my hunting tools are better than your
hunt
hunting.
vampires.
Right.
But
you gotta
there's some
hope-
pretty elaborate stuff up there.
You gotta hope somebody just like walked down the street with that above their head, like, "This is mine. Back up, everyone. Vampires be gone."
Well, I mean, they were either hunting vampires,
Right.
real vampires,
Right.
or they were hunting people who
Who
they
they
thought were
thought-
vampires.
Right.
Right.
Or it was just some really skilled craftsmen who were capitalizing on the fear and panic around the New England
Right.
vampire panic and kind of vampire folklore.
It could also
right?
very well be. I hate to use the term witch hunt, but like
Fair.
But they all sort of, whether there's a procession, you have the church, and they have all their big staves and their kit and their hats and their flags, and now all you need is, even if it's not for real use, if you bring out like this oversized,
Ornamental.
It's ceremonial almost. Yeah.
that's gonna put this fear into the population. If you're like, if that's the weapon that is needed to kill the thing that I'm afraid of, that thing must be great, and these people must protect me.
Totally. It's all like fear kind of ceremonial
Yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
I mean, I can't actually honestly speak to that because I don't know, but I assume that that's very
Yeah.
likely. I mean, there's pieces in there that are as tall as me, and I can't even imagine. Could you imagine slaying somebody with a piece that's 6 foot tall? I mean, I'm not a little.
I think I've seen
lady.
animes about that.
Yeah, that's like, what are you running like a javelin? Like, what are you doing with this? But it's definitely like Jeff said. I mean, it's totally ceremonial and kind of a procession kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of those stakes are extremely thick. I
Yes.
don't imagine those going easily into a chest cavity.
Right. I mean, they could, I suppose, but
With a hammer.
right.
Yeah.
Get your stakes
big
here.
steak.
Get your
Get your
stakes here.
steaks here. We got all the steaks here.
Selling them at the dock.
Yeah, but they're cool. I mean, we've got stuff from all over the world, so it's pretty cool. Germany,
there is.
France, all that good stuff.
So you've got this whole vampire persona shtick. That's probably the wrong word.
Yep.
But you put on
Aesthetic?
aesthetic. So you have this whole vampire aesthetic. right? Either who you are, your business, what you run, what you do. What's something that's counter to that people would be surprised about you?
I totally run around wearing J. Crew on the weekends. Not on the weekends, but
no way.
I do. I don't ever talk about this, but I have an alternate persona where I just totally plebe out and I look like everybody else, and it makes me blend and hide, and I do it like once a week sometimes.
Ben, do you do the same?
It's a little more difficult for me to hide.
It is.
The beard.
The beard kind of gives me away in
Yeah.
most places.
But you totally
drive-
blue jean rock it once
I drive
in
a
while.
white truck.
He does drive a white truck.
I drive a white truck.
I saw you once.
Yeah,
and
Ben has a Denali. It's a white Denali. But we drive in it every day. That's not a secret.
No. This last winter, 2 winters ago, do you remember? I think we were down by Gulu and you were shoveling or something.
Yes.
And me and my friend were like, is that Ben?
Yup.
We're like, he's in like blue jeans and like a reflective
See,
jacket.
it's not just me.
Yeah, we're like, there's no way that's Ben.
Yep.
Caught in the wild.
I know.
So I used to, before we purchased Vampfangs, after the military, I did kind of like a lot of odd job kind of thing, right? Try this out, do this. I used to maintain and repair medical equipment. That's what I did in the military. That's what I did for a little while after I get out. And a good friend of mine has a grounds management company. And so he does, in the on season, like the nice weather, he does all the landscaping and construction jobs. And I was a foreman for his crew then. And then in the winter time, which was because I just love the winter, I would take care of a lot of properties here. He's got a lot of commercial contracts in the city of Salem. And so after we bought Vampfangs, he was like, all right, are you leaving me now? I'm like, all right, I'll give you another year.
Right.
Another winter.
But then I did it so it was that winter. So I was like, well, I'm done landscaping. I'm not doing anything landscaping, but I love the snow and I'll do the snow. It's not as time demanding, right?
I remember that season. I was so pissed at you. I was
Yeah.
like, you can't do this.
So I was like, I'm
no,
gonna do
we're
something.
so fucking
So
busy.
I told him I was gonna do it one more year, and then that year passed, and then he pretty much begged me for one more
did.
year, which I gave him.
And I also bitched
I gave him
about that
so I
too.
gave him one. I was like, all right,
Okay.
dude. I'm like, I'll give you one more
But we have
year.
meetings, man.
And that was
Come on.
probably the year that you saw me. I
Yeah,
think it was
yeah.
my last year out there. And then I was just at the point. I'm like, dude, I love pushing snow. It's because it's like therapeutic for me. I'm out there at 2 a.m. There's something just
It's meditative.
You don't have to
you just
think,
watch the
you
snow
just
roll
do.
off. It's like one of those. It's one of
Right.
those mind things, right? You just kind of spend some time thinking. But yeah, I had to give it up as much as I enjoyed it.
And that's how
So that
I
was
feel
probably when you
about-
saw me out there.
That's how I feel about white button-down shirts. It's like meditative.
But on my days off, sometimes I do wear blue jeans.
You do, totally. He called
do.
me the other day. He's like, I'm wearing blue jeans today. I'm like, you didn't go to Salem, did you? Nobody
You
saw you,
can't
did
be
they?
No one saw
seen.
it. What is
No, this can't. We have to, like, when we... It's almost like literally a vampire hiding from, like, the public. It's so, when we do go out wearing, like, normal people...
You like hide and hiss?
Totally. It's like, oh my God, nobody's seen me in Newburyport today at Ganesh. Oh my God. Don't judge me.
Sometimes I just tuck my beard into my
Right.
jacket so no one will see.
Yeah. It's just fun being someone else once in a while.
Yeah.
Most people dress up in the other fashion to be,
Right, I
To be
think-
us, right?
yeah,
exactly.
to be like us, exactly. But we do it the other way every now and then, just because it feels.
Which is fair because we live this Salem
Yeah.
lifestyle.
I recall actually, Jeff, you saw me at the Hawthorne in the tavern and did not say anything, and you texted me, "I see you wearing blue jeans," and I was like, "Fuck, my cover's blown."
Busted.
I was still wearing a black shirt. I thought I would be fine.
And we were sitting there and so I just texted her and she like a gopher poking
Like,
us.
oh shit.
I've been spotted.
They
forgot
saw me.
about that.
Crap. And that was like a fraction of how bad it gets. It gets pretty bad.
It's like stuck out like
Yeah.
a sore thumb. I was like,
Right. But I
Is
will
that-
say, to counteract Ben's Denali, the white Denali, I just purchased a black Camaro. So that'll be kind of our day side and night side. So yes.
that Noir Blanc feel.
The Noir Blanc. Yeah. Yeah. So
So you are local to the area, obviously spend a lot of time here. Where does a vampire go to get a good cocktail and a good caffeinated beverage?
ew. Good cocktail, hands down, Ledger is one of my favorite places. I love Ledger so much. Their cocktails are good. The food is good.
Beautiful inside.
The inside is gorgeous. It's a really nice, that's like a nice in between kind of like both of my realities kind of place. I really like it there.
Coffee. Odd meter.
Yes, hands down.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hands down, Odd Meter. It's so good. The people are amazing. The coffee is incredible. Good stuff.
I like their slow drip.
Ooh, yeah.
Their slow drip's really good.
That whole thing is really cool to me. It's still like, it blows my mind.
Oh,
how
the
it
big,
even- yeah.
the big thing.
We interviewed them, so everyone who's listening heard their interview that we had in their shop, and big fan. And the slow drip coffee. The best I can sort of equate, tell anyone, maybe you'll agree, it's like you're drinking whiskey, but it's coffee.
But it looks like biology class from like 10th grade.
Yeah, like it has that
Bite.
bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very hard to put into words.
It is.
But if you are a coffee lover and a coffee aficionado, and you actually like and enjoy the taste of coffee, and you don't feel the need to put all kinds of needless shit in your cup of coffee to enjoy it, yeah,
Don't judge my lattes.
you're absolutely going to love that slow drip over there. And as odd as this sounds, I really loved their coffee lids that they had in October.
Oh my God, they were so good. Where did they go?
Were they?
I don't know.
It was like
the
a week.
white-
They
the
had
white
this.
ones with the diamondy.
Yes, those
Yeah.
were so good.
Those were amazing.
Those were beard friendly for you. I remember
They
you
were.
saying that they were.
Yeah,
like,
'cause they had
beard
the little-
happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's such a weird thing to be like, tell me about something you love at a coffee shop. Their lids. Their lids are amazing. But their lids are really cool.
And a fun fact about me, I can't do caffeine. I know, weird. But their decaf is really good. But I haven't tried that crazy contraption biology experiment thing that they have. But I hear that it's amazing.
It's because it does not come in decaffeinated.
It's so sad. I
didn't
know
think
I
so.
can't try it.
Yeah.
The only drips I do are IVs.
Yes.
Have you guys gone to the IV bar over at RN Aesthetics yet?
I
No,
have not, but
no.
I've read up on their
But
stuff.
and I'm not sure if you experienced this in the military. The best cure I learned for a hangover is an IV drip.
Hydration, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not those per se, but they do vitamin IV drips. So all
Yes,
October,
yes.
I'm in there like at least 2 or 3 times a week. It's amazing. They're located right next to Salem State. They're awesome. But they have a new treatment coming out called NAD. If you don't know what that is, I suggest you look at it, but it's basically a mitochondria replacement. So that is the kind of drip I'm into. Ben, you can have the biology experiment with the coffee. I wish I could try that though. It would be good.
It is good.
It's delicious.
I'm just bitter and sad
No
because
shit
I can't try
necessary.
it. No shit necessary.
Stop putting shit in your coffee, people.
No. Do the IV instead.
Learn to enjoy coffee.
Oh, okay. The coffee, yeah.
So we've got Ledger, Odd Meter. Anywhere else you guys would recommend in town?
For what?
Anything. Like if you're like, if you got a friend coming to Salem, right? Obviously you're going to be like, well, you got to check out my store. But where would you? What
Like your-
direction?
What's
So
your
we bring
first
people to
place?
Ledger all the time. We bring them to Odd Meter. The chocolate shop. I can never pronounce it correctly. I'm sorry,
Kakawa?
guys.
Kakawa.
We love it in there. We go in there almost every day.
That's not true.
Our bank account says differently.
Too often.
Lex goes in every day.
The business bank account says differently. So, but we do go in there a ton. We love their chocolate in there. So we go there a ton. Where else do we go?
Vampires love chocolate.
They do.
Okay.
Yeah. We love a chocolate. And then Jolie Tea, now that they've reopened
Yes.
to this
Love
new location.
Their new location.
So cool in there. It's like the exact color opposite of everything that we do. So it's nice to kind of take a break in there.
We've done high tea in there a couple
Yeah,
times.
a couple times.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's really fun.
The macaroons
Yeah.
are.
So that's like consumption stuff. But as far as like places to play, we absolutely love the Lost Museum, Eric's place.
Yes.
We're super excited for his new location across the street coming up. We see him every day. He was carrying wood earlier and I almost ran into him. It was funny.
The world of wizardry.
Yes.
It's going to be
Very
fun.
excited.
There
for
may or
that.
may not be a couple surprises in there. I won't say a word, but
Vampire Easter eggs.
Ooh.
little
Okay.
Easter eggs in there.
I know nothing about nothing.
Okay. It'll be fun. It'll be fun in there.
I like sushi at Opus.
Oh yeah, Opus is sushi.
And if you want to go across the street, you can get some sushi at Kodo, and a goth night might break out.
Yes.
Might break out.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or karaoke.
Or karaoke.
Or karaoke.
Mhm.
Either or 80s night. There's so much activities in that place. A lot of activities.
There's a lot of hidden gems in Salem.
Things.
If you
Yeah.
know what's going on, there's a lot to be done.
If you know the schedule, you can usually pack your nights pretty much every night of the week.
Lots of hidden vampires in town too.
Yes. Find them all over the place.
They are all over the place. In places you wouldn't expect.
So any advice if someone's coming to visit Salem? What is your advice to all the people listening who want to come to the witch city?
Come when it's warm, for sure, because there'll be more to do. It's enjoyable outside. What's a don't? We should do a funny don't.
My biggest piece of advice,
Oh, God.
if people that are coming to Salem, plan your fucking trip. Okay?
That's it. That's the soundbite.
Yes, I cannot tell you how many people we pass. Oh, and they have
What are we going to do?
And they have the Haunted Happenings magazine. The guide's like, where are we going? What are we doing?
Which
What
is
should we do?
fine. I think that's great.
Where are we going to? No, it's not.
Maybe in
The
the
only
summer.
place they go
No, it's
wrong,
not,
Ben,
Lex.
is it's like the eating thing. It's like, what do you mean the lines? I can't wait 6 hours to eat. Well, no shit. You have to make a reservation like a year in advance.
You should have planned ahead.
Fun fact, Ben and I actually do that like midsummer. We book reservations at every single restaurant that we want to possibly eat at because we know we're going to be hungry in October for the entire month. So everything is completely booked, so we don't have to even
That's
think
why
about it.
So
everything's
smart.
booked out. It's
Yes.
not the tourists.
You
who got-
bet.
It's
Bastards.
the asshole vampires who book everything out, but do that, people. If that's,
Part of it's
that's
just
good advice.
Part of it's just wanting to sit outside at Ledger, right next to the massive line at Rockefeller's of people going, I can't believe I have to wait 3 hours to eat a sandwich.
and
They
as
have
you
to wait
sit there
3
and you're
hours
like,
to
We're like,
even get to
excuse
the
me
top
while I
of the
have my
line and then
avocado
put their name
toast.
in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But
But
plan-
plan ahead.
plan
Totally
your trip,
plan ahead.
guys. Plan
He's
your
not
trip.
wrong.
No.
Yeah, do that.
Because, I mean, like you guys would get to see more too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, get up early. Like, none of this rolling out of your hotel at 11 shit. Like, get up early. Like, get out there and do
The
shit.
vampire is telling people to get up early. Did you guys all hear this?
Get up before the vampires do.
I know. We sleep late.
it's the coffin
I
life.
messaged him and I'm like,
You sleep late.
I was like, I think I'll be ready to go in at like noon. No, not that late. I'm not that bad. In all fairness, though, I mean, Ben and I work and, we work 7 days a week and super late hours. So I guess it's fair that I kind of roll out of bed when I do. Or maybe not. He's looking at me like I'm an asshole, but that's okay.
Well, no, it's like our jobs, as a tour guide, my first tour is at like 1 p.m.
Right.
As I'm, why am I awake
Right.
before 11? Not usually.
Right.
And then I have a tour done at 8:39, and then I'll like go get a drink, go out for dinner.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
Your day gets a little shifted.
There's never enough hours in the day is the problem. And the later that I stayed up, the earlier, or the whatever way, backwards. Lots of sleeping, not enough time for work, not enough time for sleep. It's all a mess. He's giving me the eye right now.
So all these people come to visit us, come to visit Salem. This is their destination. They get married here. They do all that fun stuff. But where do you like to go? Right? If you're going on vacation.
Like, where's your destination?
What's
Yeah.
vacation? I don't think I've taken a vacation. Ben just went on vacation with his family not too long ago. But
Yeah, I
I
did. I went down to Universal.
was like, Orlando, you were in
Yeah,
Orlando.
I was in Orlando.
Yeah.
When I got a souvenir, I came back with COVID.
You did.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
I was so glad he
The
came
best
back and I
kind of
didn't get to
souvenir.
see him.
Best
So I
kind of
didn't get
souvenir.
that souvenir. But I go down to Florida a bunch. My mom lives down there, so I go down to Naples. I guess I escaped to there. But I haven't taken like a real like, hey, I really want to go to this place and do the thing since actually we bought Vampfangs when I was in Ireland.
You've been
Or
going,
bought the
going.
store, I should say. Yeah, we haven't really stopped to do much of anything. We travel a lot for work, so that's kind of
Yeah, you guys were just in LA and
New Orleans,
Tampa.
Vegas,
in Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
We do. I mean, every year we typically hit the Endless Night Vampire Ball in Tampa, New Orleans, and Los Angeles.
Yep,
So those are like the three
the
trips
three staples.
that are on the
Yeah,
on the calendar
on
every
like the
year.
definite list. So I think we may add Dallas this year.
Ooh, going to Texas.
Yeah. But we have to wait and kind of see what's going on with that. But we do.
That's still all work. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like fun, I think, to people from the outside that we're traveling, doing all these great things, but we are working and kind of networking and meeting people and all of that stuff. So we do have fun, but it's mostly work for us.
We try to take in. I mean, no matter where we go, we try to take in something of the culture that when we're there too. We try to find a museum we hadn't been to yet, or some kind of architecture, something outside. Obviously, we love to eat. Vampires love to eat, so we're always eating. But we always try to do something at least on every trip.
Yeah, to kind of like unwind a
Culture,
little bit.
the museum, just something
Yeah.
that oftentimes it's something where like we're not going to run into other vampires too.
Right.
You know?
To kind of, I mean, it's kind of like that J. Crew thing. Like when we're away, it's like, how can we disappear where we're not going to be seen for like an hour or two, just so we can kind of breathe and kind of take a breather. Yeah. And relax. So
it gets exhausting when you're always on.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's a performance. I mean, when we're out, it's a performance because we're always meeting people. We're always kind of, doing the meet and greet stuff. So it does get tiring. When we were in LA. Kissing babies.
Bumping shoulders.
Yep, totally. But when we were in LA last, we went to the Huntington Library, and I think that was probably one of my favorite things because it was super quiet and just nothing and really pretty. So I loved that. But everywhere we go, we have one of those days. It's just like, okay.
At least you get that in.
Breathing time is nice.
Yeah.
So you guys do work a lot.
Yeah.
We see it.
Yeah.
There's always something new.
Yes. Lots of the new things.
Growth mode. Always growth mode.
Yeah.
So we've been asking all of our guests who your favorite witch or wizard is. But we're going to change it a little bit because it's you guys.
We can do both.
We can do both?
We can do both.
I wouldn't want to... Okay. If you want to pick a favorite witch or wizard and a favorite vampire,
okay,
you can do that. Or
we'll
if
give
there's
you the specialty vampire question.
So is this like pop culture or reality?
anything.
Whatever.
Oh man,
I know. So if there's like real fictional.
Ben is looking at me right now. I can't even see, but I can tell in the peripheral that he's staring at me because he wants me to answer this first. So, favorite witch. I'm going to go pop culture so I don't have to play politics with anybody.
Okay.
So,
nice.
favorite pop culture witch. I'm going to go with Glenda.
Wow.
And I know, that's super surprising. You never would think that. But Glenda's got this like, I know. She's got this like super sweet aesthetic and she's got all the things, but behind those eyes, like there's something super fucked up happening.
She's going to drop a house on you.
She's going to fucking kill you. And I love that. It's like the, behind the J. Crew, there's always... I should be sponsored by J. Crew for this ad. I'm sorry.
There's been 4 or 5
There's
times.
been like a bunch of J. Crew jobs. But there's always that look in her eye, and it's just like, I could really fuck you up if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because I'm a decent witch. I'm a good witch.
She can have the girly, beautiful pink dress.
Totally.
And the femininity, but then she can also be
Kick
the
your ass and fucking kill you.
The feisty one
Yeah.
underneath. I love that.
And I love that too. Yeah, I'm going to go with Glenda.
And she doesn't melt at the end. So
No,
that kinda
like
is a positive.
she made it.
Yeah.
Like she did her job. She survived. She did the good thing.
Very nice.
Yeah, she kicks some ass. As far as favorite vampire goes, that's like a really hard. It's easier to choosing my favorite vampire is like a game of all my friends are listening and I don't want to answer like who your favorite friend is or who your favorite kid is. It's like who's your favorite kid? It's like I don't fucking know. I can't answer
You can
that.
do pop culture again.
Even then, because we know a lot of these people. Favorite vampire. You know what? I'm going to pull it. I don't know if you guys watched, Ben and I did a video during the Super Bowl when we were doing playoffs, and we actually had to answer this question, and I lost, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go with Pam from True Blood because also a badass vampire.
You've got Pam vibes.
I love Pam. Like she again did her thing. She was totally sweet, but she could totally rip your head off, and I loved that. And she snapped like at the the drop of a dime.
I love it.
Go ahead, Ben. Keep up with that. You're welcome.
So, my favorite wizards are the 2 dudes with the massive beards.
The 2 dudes with the massive beards.
One from Lord of the Rings and one from Harry Potter. Yeah. Those are my 2 faves. Okay.
Okay.
Those are my 2 faves.
So we got Dumbledore and,
I think you mean
and
Gandalf and
Gandalf.
Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I like that you chose due to beard factor.
2 dudes with the beards, because it takes a lot to evoke beard envy from me.
It's true.
Right. Now, granted, mine is a little more well kept than each of them.
Rude.
However, they've got some longevity, and had I not trimmed mine many, many, many times, I may be a Dumbledore.
Do you know if those beards are real though?
Oh, I don't know, but they look real.
Movie magic.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a movie magic, but
All
who
right.
cares?
Fair.
But who cares?
I applaud that. I think that's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
The beard's got to stick together. I mean, I could have picked a pop culture witch that had a beard, but I didn't want to go there because politics, right?
Right. Don't do that. Don't go there.
That's just not right.
That's not who we are right now.
I mean, all of us get some facial hair in old age.
Hey. You got it, flaunt it.
I mean, on the vampire side, right? I mean, my kind of style of vampire is, I tend not to be, how do I put this?
I don't know.
Delicately.
I tend not to be the one who's wearing the lace with the big poofy sleeves. That's less my style of
So
vampire.
okay, all right. So we've knocked out Interview with a Vampire.
Yes, so
Okay.
I'm less Lestat.
Less Lestat,
Right.
a little bit more Blade.
I'm a little more Blade and Celine. Like I prefer my vampires to be a little more badass.
Celine.
I prefer them to wear leather. / and or latex. Right? I'll take either one of those.
Sounds like a great time.
I prefer them to carry really cool weapons. Right? Like stakes and that kind of stuff's cool, but pack a gun somewhere. That's
Word.
like I love watching Celine and Blade just go to town. They were just badasses. Yeah, I mean, I could have gone classic or something, but I just feel like
I feel like we've let down everybody in the vampire world with our decisions.
we probably have, but you know, but I don't care.
So is it Celine? Is that who you're going for?
Celine and Blade.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
I love that you're like, pick one, and he's like, I'm going to give you four.
Well, I'm gonna pick because vampire, right?
Right.
No, but yeah, but those are mine.
I like that. I think that's really great.
That's just the time frame I came up into. I mean, I came up on Lost Boys, but then like the meat of like my formative years was spent like Blade time. You know?
Plus the special effects, like it takes Lost Boys and just takes it to
Yeah, it
another
does.
level.
You're not for the greased up saxophone man?
Oh my God,
In a
the
cave?
saxophone man.
I mean, Lost Boys was awesome. Lost Boys was awesome.
So we were just in LA at the Endless Night Vampire Ball, and we were doing the costume contest, and we're handing out roses to the potential best dressed entries. And there was a gentleman dressed as the sax man, and
There was in fact.
it was like epically perfect, and it was like a tie.
It was a tie.
Like he almost won the costume
he,
contest.
he
It
was one of
pretty
he was
awesome.
he was one of the winners.
It was
Did
pretty
he have a
awesome.
saxophone?
He did.
He did have a saxophone.
He did. He was shirtless. He had a saxophone, like the whole thing,
and blue jeans.
all of it. Yeah.
They let it. Oh,
That's great.
it was a ball.
I mean, every city's different though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So like, so in LA, like you'll end up seeing a little more costume.
Yeah, yeah.
Than you would in Salem. In Salem, he wouldn't make it past the door.
No,
he wouldn't make
have.
it past the
No,
gatekeeper.
we're pretty. I don't want to say the word anal. Can I say anal on
Staunch?
this? Anal.
Professional.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
No,
Sorry.
No, we're a little
strict.
we're
strict.
we're purists.
High maintenance.
Like
we're high
that.
maintenance. I'm high
Purists.
maintenance. We figured that one out, that I'm high maintenance. But no, we're pretty big on the dress code around here. And they are in LA too. It's a different vibe. Like every single city has its own kind of like energy sequence and vibe, and LA is like beautiful and awesome and just super creative. Not that we're not here, but we're just different. Like it's a different energy altogether, I think.
Speaking of LA, I saw that you were with everyone's favorite familiar up on stage.
Harvey, yeah.
Yeah, Harvey Guillen.
yeah.
Yeah,
How was he?
Super sweet. He's a really nice guy. We didn't spend a ton of time with him, but he was literally like the kindest and sweetest. He's exactly like
What you would expect?
yeah,
on
like his kind of like goofy personality is pretty close to what you see on the
that's
show.
awesome.
And he's always smiling, and he's just a really great guy. He was really sweet.
He did a really cool job of emceeing.
Yeah, he did.
And
he did.
he was he wasn't like in character, but I think he did a really good job throughout the night of dropping comments and statements and stuff like that throughout the night. And the funniest part of the night for me was Danny Devine had done one of her acts, and she had a blood dump, just like she had in Salem, and of course, following her act is the best dress contest. So Harvey's up there,
Which is, by the way,
and he
the-
just comes on the stage.
The nerves, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the nerves of every single event is, Danny does her thing and it's awesome, but there's all this blood left on the stage.
We had a bit of a.
yeah, so it's like,
so
how do we
someone's gonna
clean this
clean
up,
it up,
before
right.
somebody like hurts themselves?
Yeah.
So
And so, so Danny leaves the stage. Harvey comes up, and he comes up and goes, "Why do they always expect me to clean up?"
it was so good.
It was or something like that is
it's
what he
so
said.
good.
so good.
But it was
Yeah.
timed perfectly. It couldn't have been better.
And that event too, Father Sebastian got married, and that was really awesome to
Yes.
see that kind of experience, and because we love him so much, so that was a good thing.
So, Father Sebastian, speaking of, and your LA ball, can you talk a little bit more about what Endless Nights is and how you got connected with him?
So Father Sebastian now is our friend, business colleague, mentor, and high priest of mine. An amazing guy. We've known him now for several years. We met him in New York, and he had messaged us and asked us to meet him out there. So we went out and hung out with him for the weekend. And
Well, I think we should say he's, for people who
Oh,
don't
I'm
know,
sorry.
like he's the impresario. He's the
Yes.
head of Endless Night
yes,
Productions.
correct.
Right. So Endless Night is the world's largest producer of vampire balls, produce events all over the world. And Father Sebastian is kind of the head of it all.
Yes, yeah.
So when we talk about the Salem ball, the Tampa ball, the New Orleans, Vegas, or coming to Dallas or LA, or the salons here in Salem or any of those locations, all of that is under the Endless Nights
Kind of
umbrella, yeah.
yes and no. So Ben and I are, I guess we're licensees or franchise holders for Endless Night for New England. So we have the entire New England territory. So anything that's run in New England is me and Ben, and then with Father Sebastian. The other events are all Father Sebastian, and we are lucky enough to go and kind of be a part of those in other cities.
We're brought in as guest hosts and emissaries in the other cities. Brought in to kind of represent Salem.
Yep. But the ball and the salon, so we try and do 2 salons and 1 ball here in Salem, and in the, I guess, regional areas. Is that even fair to even say? Yeah.
So we actually we attended your last salon.
Yay.
And when they say salon, think the old salons of Paris back in the 19th century. So
So it's a little, you say a little small, and it's still 100,
It's
200.
about
Yeah,
200 people.
Yeah,
Definitely
but
not
when
small.
compared to like a 1,000-person ball, it is small. The space is more intimate,
yes.
and it's, I would argue, one of the best parties that I've been to in general,
Thanks,
and
Jeff.
especially in Salem. And I think part of that has to do with both the vibe and the dress code.
And the attendees, the
Yeah.
people that you attract, the people that come to these, it's just a really incredible group of individuals. Everyone is kind. Everyone's dressed to the nines.
But that's it. No one's showing up. With all due respect, sax man, in blue jeans or just in a t-shirt, and that you then just sort of know that everyone else cares, like at least as much as you do,
Sure.
right? Everyone is they have put effort in. They are there for the party. They want to have fun, and that then helps everyone else have fun.
This last salon that you guys were at, the Noir Blonde,
Which was cool.
Thank you.
So cool.
It's the first time that we've done a
white,
salon
yeah.
that was not an all black attire.
Yeah.
Right.
Struggled a little bit.
It was
with the
hard for a
white.
lot of people, but
Yeah.
I think everyone kicked some ass. And this last one, I mean, each event that we do is bigger and better than the next, which is I can't even imagine is possible because we throw so much into these events. But this last one, I think we had 14 different states represented, which is kind of crazy for a salon. So normally, like the ball, all of the balls across the world draw in people from all over the world, but to have a salon draw in people from all 14 different states, which is crazy.
It's crazy. And I mean, that doesn't just happen by chance.
No.
Or like, hey, they would just happen to be tourists traveling from other states that just happened to be here that
And it
weekend.
was like a weird, it was like
it was like people
we
traveled here
I was
specifically
talking
for
to
that
a
weekend.
couple who both work at Disney. They got married here, I believe. And if you guys are listening, I apologize.
Yes, they
if
got
you
married. Yeah, they got married here, I think, in November.
and
they decided
they
to
came
come
back here
back.
for the weekend to go to the salon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
And you're like, you work at Disney. They both work at Disney, and you're like, the place that you wanted to go to get away from Disney was the salon in Salem.
yeah, we throw
That's
literally
cool.
everything into these events. I mean, it's a ton of work. It's a ton of moving parts. It's, we throw basically everything back in.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. We really love doing them. It's a lot of outfits.
Yeah,
So we got-
at this last one, we had the ballerina. I think it was, you said the first time that you had a dancer of that
hadn't had-
type.
Yeah.
And the burlesque dancer was also incredible. And then this upcoming one, though, is unique for a very particular reason.
What do we got?
What do
What's
we
coming? It's in like 10 days. As you guys are listening to this,
So Friday the 13th.
May, Friday the 13th, yeah.
Yeah. So we have Hammond Castle. So we're still in the general area. We're moving out of Salem just a tiny bit, but we're really excited for Hammond Castle. There's a lot of fun surprises coming.
For people that have been to that venue before, like, we don't have to tell them how amazing it is, but if you haven't been there before,
I have not, and I'm saving it.
It-
Like, I want
is-
the Vamp
it's so
salon
cool.
to be my first introduction.
I mean, everything from when you park up top or get dropped off up top of the trolley, if you're taking the trolley in, and you walk down those stairs, around the courtyard, just the architecture, the
Over
outside,
the drawbridge.
over the drawbridge where you have to enter. I mean, it's
I feel like everyone's going to want pictures in the arches,
yeah.
like in the night sky.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I mean, like I was saying, these events are a ton, and we spend a lot of time on them. So with that is with tech walkthroughs and lighting and all of that stuff. So all of our crew that we've brought through there over the past couple months has just, if they hadn't been there, like, it's like their jaw drops to the floor. Super excited about it to like produce an event in there. It's going to be fun.
we're opening up the whole castle too.
Yeah.
It's not like just the main ballroom.
We were wondering that
The whole thing's
'cause,
opened up.
like
The
all
whole
the
thing?
secondary
The whole thing,
rooms.
yeah.
And
The secondary floors upstairs, the downstairs, and there's going to be a chunk of the night where we're still trying to nail the time down, but where we're actually going to have tour guides stationed at different points in the castle.
So there'll be some
if
history
guests
stuff in there.
if guests want to kind of do the circuit, they can and kind of learn a little bit more about each of the rooms, different sections, things like that.
And if you need a break, the outdoors in the back, kind of in the lawn area,
Yeah, we have that
overlooking
too.
the ocean is going to
Right
be
there
open
on the
too.
ocean, right on the cliff.
Oh my
Yeah.
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah,
it's going to be a night.
We've got
I'm
the whole
so
thing.
excited.
we're pumped.
It is kind of a condensed.
That's the only bummer.
It is kind of a condensed evening a little bit,
Right.
Because we have to party ends at 11.
I was going to say it's 4 hours.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit different than what we're kind of allowed to do with the Hawthorne.
Us vampires don't know how to end things at 11, so it's
I
going to
know.
be interesting.
I know it's going to be interesting, but I mean, I think the trade-off is it's a killer
It's-
freaking venue.
Yeah.
We're in a
You know,
castle.
it's a castle.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
So
And-
I think you just make that trade-off.
And we're excited to see Father Sebastian again. We missed him at our past event, so it'll be nice to have him back out, and the whole family will be together.
So, fun fact: Jeffrey and I, we did a episode on Bewitched, like the TV show
Oh,
from the
cool.
70s. Have you guys seen the Salem episodes?
Yes.
So in one of them, they go up to Gloucester and they go up to Hammond Castle.
Yeah.
So, and then we were at the Hawthorne at the last one, and we thought, wait a minute, we're going to get pictures next to the elevators, which is where they
Which is
got
what
pictures.
they did in Bewitched. And
And then we're going to go to Hammond Castle and be where they also filmed that
It's
episode.
like full circle.
Full circle.
And I love it because she was like, "Oh, I just need a bit of home." She just like in the show, she just
Yeah.
claims that she just built
I need a
it.
bit of Salem here up
Yeah.
in Gloucester.
She was like built this castle, and you're like, okay, but it's actually there. It's a real
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're very excited.
Cool. I'm excited to have you guys there again.
We are very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a very busy weekend.
Yes.
Hammond Castle.
So it looks like we're coming to a bit of the end here. Is there anything that you guys want to plug or mention?
So coming up, actually, this is airing May 3rd. Is that right? So by the time you all are hearing this, the Sanctum at Maison Vampire will already be open.
We're super excited for this. It's brand new. It's a place where you can pop in, meditate, relax, do what you want to do in kind of a temple environment, either by yourself in a community. There's going to be classes, yoga,
It's going to be fun.
a lot of fun stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited for it. So it's dark mirror, and it's going to be a membership kind of thing. So you'll get a membership card and all that secret stuff that goes along with it that I can't share with you.
Located in the same building as
At Maison
Maison.
Vampire.
Maison, yeah.
Yep.
Is that one Derby Square?
One Derby Square.
One Derby Square.
One Derby Square.
Yep.
So we've got that. And then coming up, the Hammond Castle on May 13th
May
that we
13th,
talked about,
Hammond
Friday,
Castle.
May 13th.
Yep.
Do we have any other announcements? Or was that it? I mean,
The ball
'cause we
in
covered everything
October,
else.
that's kind of a big deal.
Well,
so
the ball in October, yeah.
that's
What's
kind
that?
of
That's October 1?
October.
1's the main event.
Yep. So Endless Night Salem Vampire Ball weekend thing is going to be September 30th. There'll be a salon and a convivium dinner. And then Saturday there will be
We're doing some classes during the day. We may have a little vendor market happening during the day as well.
Yep.
Some stuff's going to be rolling out about that. And then kind of a little break in the afternoon. and then rolling into the main event,
which is going to be absolutely fucking epic this year. We have so much fun stuff planned. We can't wait to share with you guys.
We are looking forward to it.
A lot of cool things around the corner.
Okay.
Very exciting.
And then probably one last thing we should probably mention or plug here is we didn't really touch on it at all, was we also just launched Dark Weddings.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
So if you are getting married or planning a ceremony, renewal, anything like that, and you are looking to have some kind of dark aesthetic, could be just a little thread of dark or a full-blown vampire or Wiccan wedding, reach out and get in touch with us on that.
So we're doing planning, the officiating, like Ben said, and all sorts of awesome stuff regarding your big day.
Some a la carte stuff. And
Yeah.
I think it's definitely needed here in town.
Yeah.
So many people come to either get married here, renew vows.
Because of my before the advertising thing, or actually during some of it too, I was doing some freelance work. So I was working with some brides and have done some weddings. And then June, who works with us full time, has been doing weddings for literally forever. And she's amazing. So it's a great kind of
It's a natural
smush of all of our stuff together.
Yeah,
I like it.
This guy's got a lot of experience in that field.
And Ben is ordained now, so Ben can actually perform your wedding as well. Not only
with
me.
the voice.
With the voice.
With
So
the
if you
voice.
want the voice to do your wedding, or you want Squeaky Frome over here to do your wedding, one of us crazy people can definitely officiate your weddings.
Is there such thing as a radio wedding?
Oh my God.
I-
Welcome to the dark wedding.
Well, I think that brings us just about to the end. One last thing. Do you guys have any advice to give to the listeners out there?
Do you want that business focused, or do you want it like consumer people-ish?
Like inspirational
Okay.
life advice.
We've gotten some very good and some very funny.
Okay.
So whichever.
Any advice to give, vampire-esque or not?
Okay.
Yeah. If someone's like, do you have any advice to give to people? Then
Okay.
just, hey.
Just don't go for the femoral artery.
Yes.
And that's like, we can
Or
leave
go
it.
for it. Have
Or
a good
go
time.
for it.
Ben, you're up. Oh, no.
Oh, I'm up first.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Let's see. Some advice.
Shit in your coffee.
What has helped me? That's how I'm going to approach this.
Okay. Is this business or personal?
Both.
Okay. Fair.
Stop giving a fuck what other people think of you. Stop putting so much weight on other people's opinion. Stop not doing things because you're afraid of other people's reaction or action. Take more chances. Take more risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Cut negative things and people out of your life. And focus on shit you can control.
That was awesome.
I need that in a handbook.
Seriously,
Yeah.
can you write that down so I can put it on the wall in Maison, because that'll be
I was going to
perfect.
say, didn't forget this live, laugh, love thing.
Seriously,
That's-
I'm like,
we're gonna-
shit, how do I even follow up with that? That's so good.
Yeah, so.
You pushed him that
Oh my
way. You were like,
God. What have I done? All right, now I'm up. So I can either say something super witty or something kind of serious, and I don't know which way to go. But I'll give business advice. So the best bit of business advice I've ever been given is to not work in my business, but work on my business, because I cannot do both of those things at the same time. Short and sweet. So that's my advice to the world.
Well, thank you. I
Great
think both of
advice.
those are. I can.
It's a
take
thinker.
them with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
definitely.
thinker.
Something we can all take with us.
I should have done something funny like don't eat the yellow snow, or never trust a vampire in an alley, or
Or do
it because femoral artery. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Brachial artery sucks.
Thank you guys for
Yes, thank you
hanging out
again.
or letting us hang out with you in Maison. It's a wonderful space, and you guys have been wonderful guests.
Lots of laughs, incredible conversation, and I learned a lot about blood sucking today. So
There you
I
go.
thank you.
Damn it, we failed.
So thanks again for joining us.
And next week, tune in. We got a little bit of a episode on Elias Haskett Derby. I know we've mentioned him when it comes to shipping and his business and the first millionaire in Salem. But we're going to spend a little while, and you can learn a lot more about Elias Haskett Derby.
Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and tell a few friends.
Don't forget to check us out on all the social medias. That is at Salem the Podcast. We got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at hello@salemthepodcast.com.
And of course, if you're visiting Salem and want to book a tour with either Sarah or myself, check out the links in the show notes to those. Thanks for listening.
See you later.